皆様こんにちは。IBM の小林。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kobayash with IBM. Thank you very much for giving me such an opportunity to speak in front of you. ICT industry today is now expected to use our technologies for environmental issues, including climate protection in many ways, especially in ICT companies. What we have been doing for climate protection, I think there are three important points I should like to mention in this symposium. First of all, when we work on environmental issues in a company, development, sales, and design and production sales, there are areas where we have to make efforts to reduce energy and consumption. And also, the products and services we develop, to what extent are they environmentally friendly? And also, ICT, especially for climate protection, to what extent can it provide solutions for the society at large? Those are the 3 points I'd like to share with you in looking back what we as a company have achieved. First, in Japan, toward G8 summit in Lake Toya, environmental issues have been discussed in many ways over mass media. And in many ways, industries and government and citizens discuss environmental issues. And IBM, on our part, has taken a lot of time to discuss what we can do in environmental protection. As a matter of fact, over 30 years ago, in 1971, the CEO at the time announced to the stakeholder the vision of IBM as a corporate policy, what we would like to do as a company. And the announced corporate policy is a commitment shown by IBM, and at the moment 370,000 employees of IBM around the world has to comply with this policy announced by the top man of our company. And at the left corner below, in 1997, in 1997, IBM was able to attain the single registration for ISO 14001, and the corporate policy was an important point in this certification. And the 6 business establishments of IBM were given this certification in the very beginning, and it was found later that the 6 different business establishments had 6 different policies for the business establishment. So on the part of IBM at large, we decided to get the single regulation in 1997 and comply with the same policy in the environmental management. And the next point I consider myself very important is transparency. In 1990, we issued Environmental Progress Report, and ever since then, every year we disclose both negative and positive outcome of a company through this report. In company operations and activities, the most important thing is early actions, and second is collaboration with other stakeholders, government and civil society, and the third is transparency in environmental activities and impact we bring about. Among those activities of our company, we issue various results. And first of all, in climate protection, CO2 emission reduction is a very important piece of information. In 1990, the CEO at the time made another decision, that is, energy efficiency at IBM is to be increased 4% every year. And this was a target given to every office and establishment of IBM, and from 1990 through 2006, we were able to reduce the CO2 emission by 44% globally. And another is a PFC, which is used in the semiconductor manufacturing process. This has the global warming potential 8,000 times of that of CO2. Global warming potential, so it is a very serious global warming contributor. And we decided to reduce the PFC emission, and we were able to actually achieve a 55% reduction in PFC emission from 2000 to 2006. In using energy as another activity, we are trying to promote the use of green energy. 368 million kilowatt hour reduction was achieved in 2006. This is equivalent to 7.4% of IBM's global electricity purchases. And the last point here is employee mobility. We are now able to execute telecommuting and work at home programs, and over 68,000 tons of CO2 emission was avoided, as nearly 1/3 of our global workforce use this program. So we have done quite a lot in CO2 emission avoidance on our part. And from 2005 till 2012, the last year of the first commitment period, we are committed ourselves to further reducing the CO2 emission by 12%. In carrying out various global warming activities, we have done a lot of collaborations with other stakeholders such as government, and the very important activity, in my point of view, considered very important, which began this year, is the Eco Patent Commons. That is an initiative to disclose patents related to environmental technologies as much as possible. And around the world, 4 companies participate in such an initiative. We try to disclose such environment-related technology patents as much as possible. And in Japan, we certainly would like to promote such an initiative, and I solicit your participation and cooperation to this very important initiative which just began. Now, Japan IBM already began our collaboration. In 2000, we began IBM Environment Symposia. The first one took place in Tokyo, and since then, in various cities in Japan, we have continued to organize this series of symposia. Often the case, a symposia organized by a company becomes a place and forum where the company would like to promote how good they are for environment. But in our symposia, between government and consumers and government, we have a very in-depth discussion what we can do for environmental preservation, and IBM serves as a main sponsor, and we co-sponsor such a symposia with the local government. And this year we are going to have a symposium of this type in Toyama Prefecture, and I invite all of you to come. To Toyama Prefecture. Now, about the reporting. From 1990, we began to issue such an environmental report, and this has been my very favorite and important work. For a company, often the case good and positive information is something you would like to disclose to the society, especially that is to the attitude of the publicity department of our company. But we disclose not only good but also bad information for the company. For instance, environmental accidents and how much penalties we have paid, and what is the degree of the soil and water pollution. And this is the sort of information we also disclose as a company. And what the stakeholders would like to know is the risk in the future. So we consider disclosing such a negative information concerning environmental records of the company very important. And that's why we have continued to release such a report every year. As a result, to our great pleasure, we have been given many awards around the world. Next, now, ICT as a tool, what kind of innovation can be brought forward? There are some examples. As an ICT company, when we use computers, we often have a center called the data center where a lot of computers are concentrated. And to reduce the energy consumption in data center can be considered as most effective in order to become more friendly to the environment. And IBM announced such a plan last year, and by 2010 we have made a commitment to achieve a 50% reduction by 2010, and for that purpose we are going to spend $1 billion per year with 1,000 engineers to raise energy efficiency of our data centers. The most important thing about this is that we are going to include both high-tech and low-tech areas. For low-tech side, if you open up the floor of the data center, there are so many wiring underneath which decreases the airflow. And with the technology of visualization, we are going to see where the airflow is stagnant in such an unseen area. And also we use a lot of diagnostic technologies. Now, next is one example of innovation. Today, for power industry, we are promoting intelligent utility networks. Various equipment and devices are going to be equipped with sensors so that real-time monitoring can be measured and fed back to user side, be it a home or a company. So users are able to trace what is the status of energy consumption and use at the moment. And this program has already begun, and about 20% energy consumption can be reduced according to the data we have gathered so far. And we would like to roll out the use of such technology around the world. This is another interesting activity, which is about intelligent transport system, especially in a city center. How can we help the mitigation of traffic congestion within the city centers? And in Stockholm, such a project is going on. In about 18 locations on the periphery of a city center, and we set in place control points, and the entry charge is going to be differentiated by time of day and whatnot. And according to the first 1 month data, the traffic was reduced by 100,000 vehicles, and also the CO2 emission was reduced considerably. And with this data gathered in Stockholm, we would like to carry out a similar project in Singapore and in the United States. So those are the innovations we have been trying to bring about, and all of those are put together under the unit of a Big Green Innovations Unit. And one of the very important pillars under this initiative is carbon management. And second is called alternative energy, which means renewable green energy. We would like to promote the use of such energies. And the third pillar of the activity is about water management. In urban areas or in developing countries, to what extent water can be better managed. And that is the area where we would like to harness the power of ICT, especially IT in our case. And last but not least, as an IT company, of course, we will try to be more environmental conscious and friendly as a company, but at the same time, we should like to continue to take on challenges to mitigate the climate warming with the power of IT. Thank you very much.